I've been wanting to do something like this for a long time. A comparison of the pros and cons of systems for a square and for H or H2, for some reason they are called differently there, it doesn't matter. In general, we ourselves understood the essence, yes, that is, our shaft is located on the connecting rod itself, but here we don't have a shaft, it is located in the carriage itself. It will be what it will be by weight in this video, and then I will tell you, and you be sure to subscribe to this channel, click the red button, click like and write comments. What systems do you use and which one, in your opinion, will be better? I can immediately say that they will. There are some digressions, and maybe even not connections there. Supposedly there is a star there, for example a small steel one, a small aluminum one. But all this in general is approximately at the same level, that is, here we have a center prowl, or just a prowl center. Provided all the links, by the way, to these connecting rods, and I'll also leave the carriage in the description. There, look in detail at what it's like. Why, I also have old connecting rods, Olia M4060, even like this 46, I once had them under the T, and for comparison, so that there were 2 stars there too, and here there are 2 stars. I took a larger one and a smaller one, so let's say, well, of course, how can it be without fastening and the bonnets, that is, there will also be bonnets. This is all in order to compare the weight later on, which will be lighter, and what will be heavier, or which will be heavier, will be lighter. So let's do the bets are now on pause, and we write what will be heavier, which system is square or H2. We've written everything, and now let's probably weigh it all and then continue. Purely my opinion, I'll tell you that at least I think it's better. What are the advantages, what are the disadvantages, so that we can weigh it all? You will need a package. How can it be without a package? And the first is probably the first. Let's probably still write a square often. That it's a square, yes, it's like in no way inferior to the current one, it's reliable there, lives happily ever after, and weighs no heavier. Now let's check the carriage, and of course 2 fastening screws to this very carriage. In principle, that's all we have. The whole system is ready. We take scales and all of this. We kilo 130. I hope you can see kilo 130 kilo 130 kilo 130. I honestly don't know whether this is a lot or a little. I've never weighed especially the transmission and connecting rods all together. I just took whatever I had enough money for, and that's it. And now Shimano connecting rod is the second connecting rod, the carriage, by the way, with spacers too, so that they don't say that like, yes, you removed them there. Bonks, and 2 stars, so that for comparison we drop our 130. So 960. Gee, well, so this is by the way, these are not the lightest connecting rods that could be taken from this, is what I have. As they say, there is so well, we now understand what it is. What's more difficult with this we figured out. Of course, they will still write in the comments now. I already see I'm writing something like, yes, it's all underscore. I have some kind of connecting rods. Damn it, I don't know what's even better about the square than about the fork, because, well, the square is an ancient system. Whatever one may say, it's ancient, it's just in general, it's not even difficult to compare. Well, what are some of the pros and cons of the pros of the System, the price is square. Of course, the price is just like there's nothing. It's even difficult to compare because here is this bunch of carriage and connecting rods with even 2 stars, even if you take the prowl, it's not any at all. It will come out to 4,000, there are 2,800 connecting rods in a carriage there, I don't remember 50 in general, somewhere around 4,000 here if you want to make a double. Even if I don't know now, probably there is no Olivia for sale exactly M4000 even. If you take 51 connecting rods, they are there, cost 51, this is approximately this cost. These are purely connecting rods with one sprocket with a carriage. You also need to look at different sellers. It happens that the connecting rods come with a carriage, sometimes the connecting rods come without a carriage. Well, most often, of course, it comes with a carriage and there. In principle, the price is the same, not much different, but still a little more expensive, but you overpay for the carriage itself as a novelty. That is what's good about the HTE2 system, is that you can adjust your chain and even shift it a little so that your chain misalignment is not so strong was, and, for example, the chain did not fall off. Or when you put the big star in front and the big one behind us, if you have a double, when taking into account, do not forget that we have a double, then the distortion will not be strong. Such a distortion is how it is done, just these rings, they change places. Or even why not remove it, but it all depends on your frame, because not every frame supports, for example, the 6th sprocket, the largest, or even more so all these spacers can be adjusted by your chain line. Here, you just take the connecting rod, all you already have it won't move left or right, that's all. Here, it is in one place, and that's why, by the way, on the carriage they often write the length of this very shaft. Here we have how many, 113, that is, for a TiVo millimeter carriage the shaft length is 11 millimeters. If you take a larger shaft, yes, you can there make more of a smaller shaft, but this is very difficult. You need to calculate all these millimeters so that your connecting rod itself does not beat even trivially at the frame feather, not to mention the front star. So here I think that it's easier after all. Flow, well, it's just simpler, not I know how else it can be explained. It's just how it is. The next one is probably rigidity, because, well, it's like a hollow shaft with such a diameter and this kind of iron. It seems to me that this shaft will withstand more load than this axis. Yes, here again you can still take a titanium axle there or a chrome dino under a square. Well, such carriages often cost 5 to 7K there, that is, one carriage. This is a Bonoak, as it were. The price of quality is already some kind of cosmic about the life of the carriage's lock and square. Here too, everyone twofold. I often hear that there are 40,000 people there, and there are 40,000 of them alone. This is a square, but here you should also not forget about where you are riding in. What conditions, that is, moisture, rain, snow, swamp, ford, some kind of cotton wool. This carriage, of course, will not fit very well because it, well, from my experience, it washes out quickly. Even though they live with me, I often have 5,000 kilometers there and more, depending on how often it is cleaned and serviced. This carriage I probably had during all the time was square, and there were also some, I don't remember the exact model of the Smos connecting rods, but it was square. It was inconvenient for me. You know that every time the pressed Napso aluminum connecting rod will say that you're like, why take it off and put it on 100 times? How then do you have to service the carriage? Just take off the bearing, wash it and fill it with new grease. Like here. Actually 234E, the cavity you have already broken. The surface E is already breaking. Accordingly you have the connecting rod sits even deeper, and such a moment happens that it comes to such a moment that it simply no longer fits and it just starts to simply loosen. As if the connection not very good. When you install it and forget everything, just ride until you lose your pulse until it all rots and rusts, then just throw it away. Just stupidly buy new connecting rods and a new carriage. Well, I prefer this way, as many people prefer more. This is exactly the standard that was used, by the way. For comparison, these connecting rods, which we already see, are worn out. Right, in general, in death, both in winter and in summer, I went to work in the rain, in downpours, these connecting rods went through. Well, I don't know, more than 10,000 km. These are definitely the very first connecting rods, which you ordered on AliExpress. It's up to you to decide, of course. I just can't force you to use this particular system there or this one. So this is an educational program, so let's say from my experience and in general advice, you can take this as advice. And not as advice as a recommendation, but in general. My choice is hollowtech. That's all, thanks for watching and listening to the end. This is probably a very long video. Thank you all for subscribing, likes and comments. Share this video with your friends on social networks. Andre was with you channel. Bye everyone.